Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another chill Marvel Snap video. And I just wanted to quickly get this video in to record hitting Infinite and reviewing my stats for the season before I played any more games, since I am hitting Infinite before the season is over. I'm going to be playing some more games before the season is over, do my dailies, all those things, and so I wanted to show you my stats before I ruin them with more games, and so you can see exactly how long it took me, exactly how many games I played, so you can have a frame of reference for yourself, what to expect if you're trying to hit Infinite yourself. So the first thing I want you to take note here is it took me 344 games to hit Infinite, and you can see that these stats are current because it says my highest rank is 105. So I just took a snapshot of my account when I hit Infinite to see where my stats were for this season. So I played 344 games, and if you take 344 and multiply it by 4.5 minutes per game, then you're coming out with 1,548 minutes. If you divide that by 60, then you can see it took me about 25 to 26 hours to hit Infinite. And so since the season began, there's been about 16 days. So if you divide that by about 16 days, you have about 1.6 or 1.5 hours a day. So that's about exactly how long I play every day. I play at night before I go to bed, when I'm relaxing on the couch after dinner. I usually pull my phone out and play some games until I get tired and we fall asleep on the couch, my wife and I. So that's about how long I play, about an hour and a half, and I just steady climb with the hour and a half that I get. And so if that's something that you're capable of doing, then I fully expect you to be able to hit Infinite. Infinite has been helped mightily this season because the bonus 5 ranks you get when you break into a new ranked tier, they give you 50 free cubes. So if you're rank 50 and you hit rank 60, they jump you to 65. So I started at rank 60 this season, just for reference. So I started at rank 60 this season. So last season I started at rank 50 and I hit rank 91 by the end of the season. It took me all season to get to rank 91, but I started at rank 50. So 50 to 60 was 100 cubes, 60 to 70 was 100, 70 to 80, 80 to 90 was about 400 cubes, but you have to minus 10 cubes a rank, because on the old system, when you ranked up, you would give you 10 cubes. So if you go from 50 to 60, you go to 61, they give you a free 10 cubes. So if you minus about 30 cubes, it took me about 370 cubes to get to rank 91 last season. This season I started at rank 60. Since I was 91, it dropped me down to 60 to start the season instead of 50, which is really great. And so if you count the cubes I needed this season to go from 60 to 70 was 100 cubes, then 75 to 80, right, because you get that 50 cube bonus, was 50 cubes, then 85 to 90 was another 50 cubes, so that's 200 cubes, and then 75 to 100 was 50 cubes. So I needed only 250 cubes, net positive cubes this season to hit Infinite, which is 120 cubes less than what I got last season, and I hit rank 91 last season, right? And so that just goes to show you how much the 50 cube bonus helps in getting to Infinite from that change. We have probably about 2 weeks left till the season's over, maybe a little less than that. So this shows you how early even someone like me, who's only playing casually, can hit Infinite with not a whole lot of struggle, right? So if we take my cubes per game, 250 divided by 344, we can see that I earned about 0.72 cubes a game. So not 1 cube a game, it was only 0.72. I was 0.6 last season. I was earning 0.6 cubes last season, so very close. A little bit better this season. So that's my average cubes per game, was 0.7 per game. And so those are largely my stats. If you want to see the deck that I used to hit infinite. I will show you. Pre-nerf Shuri, I was using this build here. You can see that I had Arrow in the deck, and I just play Shuri. I played Shuri all last season. I played Shuri all this season. It's the only tier 1 deck I really have. I don't own Thanos. I actually don't own Mysterio, so I can't even really play the Sarah Control. So there's just some cards I don't have, but I do have Shuri. That did hop into my shop late January, so I was able to get Shuri to start the February season, and so I've just been playing Shuri. I don't mind playing the same deck over and over again. It's kind of a cringe deck, right? Because it's kind of like face roll, but there are some things you need to remember with this deck. For a lot of this season, I was actually kind of getting hurt quite a bit by She-Hulk, because when you skip turn 5, you basically open yourself up to Arrow every time, and so you actually lose a lot of games doing the She-Hulk combo. So, pro tip, if you're playing a Shuri build, what you want to do is actually skip turn 3. That's the best move, is to skip turn 3. Okay, because then turn 4, what you do is Shuri will be 3 mana. Sorry, She-Hulk will be 3 mana, and then what you do is you play She-Hulk, and then you play 0 on turn 4, and then on turn 5 you play Red Skull. Okay, so the better move to avoid Arrow is to play She-Hulk on turn 4 by skipping turn 3. Okay, so that kind of gives you 2 great turn 4 moves, right? So either you draw Shuri and play Shuri on turn 4, or you skip turn 3 and play She-Hulk into 0, or She-Hulk into Sunspot, or some other 1-drop, even Titania. If your opponent has 3 cards on one of the lanes, you can play Titania, and you don't really have to worry too much about giving your opponent Titania. Or if they play 3 cards and they have 3 cards in their lane and you play Titania and they play nothing, then next turn you can play a card in Titania's lane and then move the Titania into their zone, locking it up, and then pull the Titania back in turn 6. So that's a really cool trick with Titania. You can lock up their lane and then pull it back turn 6. I'm not sure how I feel about Lizard. I might want to drop Lizard if I play this deck more next season, and maybe put in like Scorpion or some other 2-drop, some other significant 2-drop, because he gets chopped down to 2 power quite a bit, and I don't like using 0 on him, but sometimes you have to use 0 on Lizard. So it's a tough choice, but Lizard's iffy for me. But this is the deck that I used for the vast majority of the season. And then the last few ranks, because of the nerfs and the changes, is a switch over to this one right here, which, as you can see, does not run Arrow. I just put in Polaris. So instead of Arrow, I put in Polaris. So Polaris moves cards as well, but it does it earlier than Arrow. Arrow does it at the end of the game. Polaris does it towards the beginning of the game. This deck was not really hurt at all by the nerfs. In some ways it was, but very minor ways. It's almost like I feel like it's almost like a net even with the Arrow nerf, because Arrow was one of the biggest reasons why I lost to Thanos. And so Arrow being nerfed made it a lot easier for this deck to beat Thanos. However, Arrow was a win condition for this deck too, right? If you go back and you look over here at this deck here, I ran Arrow, and Arrow won a lot of games. Arrow was really good at winning games for the Shuri deck too. So I know a lot of people are saying that Arrow being gone only helps Shuri, and that's not true, because Shuri runs Arrow, and Arrow was a win condition for Shuri decks also. So you lose those. So whatever games you win by Arrow not winning the game for you, or losing the game for you, you make up for by not having her to win games for you, right? I like Vision a lot. I was running this before the patch, and I was actually running Vision, and I was running Captain Marvel quite a bit as well, because both of these allow you to get into lanes you can't get into, which helps a whole lot, and also creates a problem for your opponent because they just don't know how to counter either one of these cards. I ended up switching out Captain Marvel for Vision Because Captain Marvel, believe it or not, got Shang-Chi quite a bit. It's almost a bummer that she waits until the end, because it gives your opponent a chance to kill her before she moves, right? And so oftentimes what I noticed was that the winning move was clear and I could just make it if it was Vision, right? And so the few instances in which Vision doesn't work, Captain Marvel does, but then it's kind of like a give and trade, because the times where Vision would be fine, Captain Marvel gets blown up. So I think Vision has a net positive, the opportunities Vision provides you is a net positive over Captain Marvel. So, and also Vision, of course, is one more point of power. So I think Vision is just objectively better than Captain Marvel. It does almost everything that Captain Marvel does. Almost everything, like 80+% of what Captain Marvel does, Vision does, and without being susceptible to Shang. So Vision's like really, really strong. Definitely one of my favorite cards in the game. Really, it's only even better because Shuri can make him 14 and you have a moving 14 train just wherever you want it to go. And that 1 week where the +5 power came into play, I farmed a lot of games off that location. It was a hot location, I believe, and it gives you +5 power this turn. I was dropping Vision turn 1 a lot, or Vision and like, say it was like the 3rd location, you get 8 power. I was dropping Vision and like Cosmo on the same turn, which is like really great, because like your opponent, they may put something big on the board with their +5 power, but you can move yours. So like wherever they put it, they're stuck. If like, oh great, they dropped, I don't know, Magneto, right, for their free +5 power, and I dropped Vision. Yeah, Vision's a lot weaker, but I'll just move Vision into a different lane. They're stuck in that lane where I can still use my power with Vision. Vision is just such an amazing card. I can't say enough about Vision. Definitely one of my favorite cards, absolutely in the game right there. Vision is really great. So this is the Shuri list pre-nerf. I'll probably play it more next season until they do something about Shuri. There's just no reason. If you're not playing Shuri, then you're probably you're really having an uphill battle. But I get if you don't want to play it, it is face roll. But like I said, I don't mind playing the same deck over and over and over and over again. I just enjoy the game for what it is, and that doesn't bother me too much. But I absolutely understand if you love to have a different deck. Once I get comfortable with the deck, like, I don't like the feeling of having to relearn a whole nother deck, especially since the infinite grind. Switching around decks can cost you a lot of cubes, and you're on limited time like me and you really want to try to hit infinite for the season, or in my opinion hit rank 90, then you want to make sure that you're staying consistent with the deck that you really know how to use. So yeah, that's my season in review. So if you guys had a similar situation, or you want me to make another video about Shuri, or you want to ask me some pointers, go ahead and toss them in the comment section below. Comment section below. But other than that, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.